everybody, and welcome to Sammy Scrolls, where I tell you all about some of the best books out there. In this episode, we're looking at Are You Lonesome Tonight by Lucy DeBarbin and I'm not sure how to say this, Dari Matera? I'm not entirely sure. So before we get into it, I want to say that I'm fully aware that this is a controversial book, potentially. So for those of you that aren't familiar, this book is about Lucy and her romantic relationship with Elvis. Obviously through mainstream media and different Elvis authorities, I suppose, Lucy hasn't been mentioned, and so a lot of people will be saying, oh, it's all fabricated, it's all made up. It may be, or it could be true, I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I was just here to enjoy the book. So if it is true, that's an incredible story, and if it's not, it's still a beautiful love story, and it's not one of those books, and we've all read them, that's just out there to make money off Elvis and buy into all the controversy about him being overweight and the medication and the bad side of Elvis that people tend to over exaggerate, when really, sure, he was overweight for his personal health, but compared to people today, he wasn't that large at all. And the medication, there's no defending that. He was addicted, he needed to get help, the doctor shouldn't have been giving it to him, but that doesn't make him a bad person, and people like to make the jokes about him, where he died and how he died, and it's just, there's a lot of books out there that are negative like that. This isn't one of them. So now I've calmed all of the fans that tend to get up in arms about reading any book. Breathe, it's okay. See, the last time I did an Elvis book, or I think I've done a couple on the channel by now, I got a lot of negative feedback from older fans saying, don't read that, you should never read any book about Elvis, and all this very attacky response. And I understand where they're coming from, because they were there when Elvis was alive and they want to protect him, but I wasn't there, so I don't have the memories of waiting for Elvis's next recording to come out and it was something you'd never heard of. I wasn't there waiting for the movie to open up so I could get my tickets and go and see him on the big screen. I didn't have any of that experience. So all that I have is the memories that older fans, or the original fans, or whatever you want to call them, I only have what they tell me, what is available for purchase and online and everything, and books like this. That's all I've got. Elvis and I never walked the earth at the same time, so while I understand what most of the people that were having that response have good intentions, please remember, I am only 24. Elvis has been gone for a lot longer than I've been alive, so reading about him is all I've got. That's the only way I can learn and relate to who this man was, and I understand this might not be true. A lot of you are probably screaming at your screens right now saying it's definitely not, and that's okay, maybe it isn't. But it still was a story about Elvis, and it's positive. If it was all about defaming him, I would be up in arms over it too, but here's a story that may or may not be true, but it's pleasant. Anyway, enough of the drama. So, Lucy, I'm gonna just say it as if it is definitely real, I'll try, because that's the best way. But Lucy's memory and her ability to recall conversations and to paint the pictures of the areas that she went to with Elvis is phenomenal. Like, you read the book and you feel like Lucy and Elvis are right next to you and you're watching it. It doesn't feel like on this date we did this and on that date we did that. She talks about the breeze, the feel of the wind, the colours of the leaves, the different conversations they had, the feel of the grass, what time of day it was. So it's obvious that these memories and emotions are very much entrenched within her, so you get a lot more than just and Elvis walked through the door and he smiled. You get how he looked, how he felt, how he smelt, all sorts of stuff. So So it's quite fascinating, and Lucy obviously loves Elvis a great deal, so to read this love story, it's really moving, and she always had Elvis's best interests at heart, even when it meant hurting her and potentially her family. Her first priority was Elvis and her children, and both stood to get hurt. So even though it tore her apart, she made sure she did what she had to do to protect both. So, man, I don't envy her. I mean, I do, I wish I got to know Elvis too, but to be in the situation that she went through, I mean, you'll read about her childhood, and I don't want to bring that up because, well, you'll read about it, and it's not pleasant, and it doesn't deserve acknowledgement. She does, the guy doesn't. But yeah, she went through so much even as an adult, and then had to deal with falling in love with the love of her life, and that happened to be Elvis. And oh, it's just, I can't imagine being head over heels in love with someone and not being able to hold their hand or look in their eyes, or, you know, at the end of the day fall into their arms and tell them about the day. Like, I don't know how she managed it, to be honest. So outside of Lucy's recollections of things that went on, this poor man that I cannot pronounce his name, I am so sorry, and he actually took what Lucy was saying with a grain of salt to a degree, it appears, and he actually went and researched what was going on at these different points in Elvis's life to try and give some validity to what Lucy was saying. So if Lucy was mentioning maybe she heard a song on the radio at this particular time, he would go and research when that song came out and when it was being played and how popular it was, and if she mentioned a movie, he would see if that correlated. So it's not just Lucy sitting down and going, yes, I was Elvis's only true love, and it's not just that, it goes further into it to try and show you how their two worlds do blend together, and how this is potentially an actual true story. So that really does give strength to what Lucy's saying, and there's actually members of Elvis's family that Lucy did meet, and they did recall meeting her. So I would say she's definitely been a part of Elvis's life to some degree. Whether it was as far as she says or not, that's for the reader to decide. But how there's all this research, every chapter gets broken down and it shows this is where Elvis was at this time, and this is what was happening, and this is who Lucy talked to, and we spoke to them years later and they remembered, and even her kids actually come in and collaborate evidence to a degree. Like, they'll be saying, we were listening to this Elvis song and Mum came in and broke down, and because you've been reading what happened that day through Lucy's point of view, when her kids talk about it, you understand why she broke down or why she ran out of the room crying or whatever it is. So it's really, it's not just presented to you as this mystical Elvis's true love and you just have to take her word for it. They do back it up with evidence. So, as I'm sure you're aware, a lot of Elvis books, they go into quite substantial detail, and this is just my opinion, but often I feel it's a bit too much. Like, Elvis was a person, he has a family, his daughter and grandchildren are in the world right now, and so there's certain details about a man and his life that probably should stay private. We don't need to know really personal stuff that I regret ever reading, but Lucy protects Elvis. She goes into enough detail that you know what she's talking about, but it maintains his dignity. So when there are, obviously they were in love, and people that are in love and are adults, things happen, and she mentions it, but she doesn't go into every single teeny tiny detail as some books do, and I appreciated that because that kind of talk makes me uncomfortable anyway. But especially because Elvis isn't there to give her permission to share those personal details, she doesn't, and that's quite, in my eyes, an important factor, because I wouldn't want people sharing personal things about me, whether I was alive or dead, in any regard, not just intimate things. So but she doesn't share what he said about medicine or different health things, or like you read some books and it goes into every single part of him and what freckle he had. She doesn't do that, so it maintains a lot of his dignity, which is quite refreshing, to be honest. On the same note, you can tell that with Lucy, Elvis wasn't a superstar. I mean, she acknowledged that he was famous and loved the world over, but to her, he was her El Lancelot, and this book is just filled with so much love and respect for the man, and she acknowledges that, you know, us fans are here and all the other people that have been in his life, and she just shows a lot of love and concern for him. And even though he's passed, she's obviously very careful with her words, because she wants people to know the man she knew, while also like showing Elvis the respect he deserves, I guess. So yeah, it doesn't grab me as just a money grabbing book. It doesn't strike me as she's just going, well, Elvis isn't around to help me out if I need him anymore, so might as well do something about it. It doesn't feel like one of those books. It genuinely feels like she's held this secret for so long and she just wants to get it out, over and done with once, and then it's sorted. If people have questions, read this. Like, there's nothing left unanswered. She gives you everything you would possibly ask her, so it's saved her from millions and millions of interviews, and yeah, everything's here. So, and I've looked around a little bit about her, and there doesn't seem to be too much out there, so it's not like she's gone into the media saying, I have Elvis's child, or I was his true love, or any of that. And yeah, it's something different. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But have you read this book? What do you think? And please, if you're in the comments and you've watched this video, thank you for watching. But I'm going to go with enough of the attacky comments. I know the original fans, and I am too, are protective of Elvis, but for the younger generation, we don't have the first person memories that you guys do, so cut us a little bit of slack. If there's something really awful and it's not true, maybe let us know, or if we have questions, let us know, we can come chat to you. But yeah, there was a lot of attack on the last video that I did about an Elvis book, and we're better than that. Elvis wouldn't want that. It's just hard for us young ones to try and get to know him because we weren't here. So yeah, but thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you've read this or have any comments, please get in touch. I'd love to hear. And if there's an Elvis book or any other book that you'd like to see on the channel, let me know and we'll see it in a future episode. But thank you so much for watching. Take care until I see you next time. Bye!